What's good, y'all? It's the one and only Nappy Head Fred coming back to y'all with another album review of Denzel Curry, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. This is Denzel Curry's fifth studio album released March 25th, 2022 under PH and Loma Vista Records. Hopefully I said that right, but let's get into it. First song on this album is Melt Session number 1 featuring Robert Glasper. Hopefully I said his name right. I thought this song was honestly pretty cool. It was a really smooth listen. It wasn't too much, but it had a lot of good instruments to it, and I felt like to explain the production a little bit more, it felt like really poetic. So it's definitely something to listen to as far as words. The lyrics were definitely really dope on here. The way he was explaining like the stuff he went through was like depression, stress, and just losing friends in general. I feel like it's something that we all go through every now and then. And basically him just explaining like he's putting his pen to the paper and, basically focusing on that rather than doing other stuff that maybe other people do to like get their mind off of things. He wind up just doing something he loved, and I feel like that's the dope part about like this song in general. So I feel like it's definitely a personal song. It's not a song that I would listen to every day, but it is a very good listen to keep you motivated, I would say. Transitioning to the next song is Walking. I thought this song was definitely dope. Obviously, the most popular song on this album. The production was just such a smooth listen, especially the first part. It had a good upbeat to it, so I enjoyed that a lot. His cadence on here was definitely really dope. The way he was just trying to vibe with the track, but once it got to the second part of the track, that's when it started getting more like, you know, how can I put it, trap sound like, but just on the same kind of sound of the production with just the beautiful like I don't know what to call them, the chorus in the background. Like those people that were singing in the background were really good, so they upped the level even more. And him just adding that trap sound to the second part, I thought was really dope. But overall, just dope cadence, dope flow. I think he knew this was gonna be the most popular song on the track, so the transition to this song I thought was amazing and definitely one of the better songs on here. Next song we got on here is Worst Comes to Worst. I thought this song was honestly pretty cool. The production definitely gave kind of a early 90s video game background kind of sound to it, which I enjoyed. The way he mixed it up, I thought was really well put together overall. Lyricism was honestly cool. He flowed through the track very well. Um, I really just enjoy the production because it just sounds like a video game, and I could just imagine. I don't know what video game, but like it just sounds really dope overall, and I definitely enjoyed this song a lot. Definitely one of my favorites personally. Next song we got on here is John Wayne featuring Buzzy Lee. This was a really interesting song overall. The production I feel like was okay. It was kind of on the lower end quality wise, but I can get the production being acceptable for the most part. The way Denzel Curry sounded on this song, he just sounded in a way aggressive, but in a way just taking it easy at the same time. Like he wasn't as aggressive as other songs I've heard him on, basically, if that makes any sense. So it just sounded like kind of low key, but just semi aggressive. But I feel like this song was okay though, because I feel like the production quality is kind of low. I feel like if they would have elevated it, it definitely would have been more, you know, better listen in my eyes or just in my ears. But there was just a lot missing with the production that could have elevated it even more. But it does sound like kind of that video game background noise again that I feel like he definitely enjoys a lot because I'm hearing it a lot each song we go through. Next song we got on here is The Last. I thought this was a really, really cool listen. The production right away just had a super mellow, just laid back kind of production where this is like one of those late night drive kind of songs. Like it really is just that mellow to the point where you could just sit back and really just enjoy it. I feel like the energy of Denzel Curry maybe didn't match as much on this particular song, but I feel like his lyricism was definitely really dope on here. I do wish like the flow of him on here. Well, the flow was honestly good. It's just the sound. I wish he could have been as mellow um just as the production, if that makes any sense. So overall though, I feel like it's definitely a dope song. I do listen to it often. And I would say pretty underrated overall. Next song we got on here is Mental featuring, oh gosh, Sully Williams and Bridget Persy. Hopefully I said their names right. I thought this song was definitely interesting just because, the title alone I think definitely gives it away of what they're gonna explain, and even like the intros, of the girls singing "It's All in Your Mental." Like everything that we pretty much think of is a mental thing. We usually get discouraged when we want to think of a new idea or we want to bring up a new idea, but we're scared because of what people say and what people like think of it and stuff. And that's a mental thing, just to describe what is explained throughout the song. And I feel like the production was definitely really cool. I like the piano sound in the background. I thought that was a really nice touch to the production. Just a really mellow song overall. Lyricism wasn't nothing too crazy by Denzel, but I feel like he definitely was able to match the energy of the song overall. Um, but it's not a song I go back to often, but I feel like it's still a good listen, even for the first time. Next song we got on here is Troubles featuring T Pain. I thought this song was definitely needed. The production, I feel like for the most part was okay, but I really just enjoyed both of T Pain and Denzel's verses, especially Denzel just sounding like aggressive on this song, but at the same time, just the cadence was crazy on here. I liked his cadence on here a lot. I feel like he even flowed through the track pretty well as well. But T Pain being featured on here was, I wouldn't say a big surprise. It was definitely needed though. I feel like he definitely flowed through the track very well as well. But overall, I think this is a pretty acceptable song. Next song we got on here is Ain't No Way featuring Black, Rico Nasty, JID, and Josiah. I thought this song was honestly really cool. It's surprising how underrated it is knowing how many features are on this song, but I feel like the production was definitely dope. It had like a beat switch to it. The first beat was okay, but the second beat I really liked a lot. I think everyone did their part okay wise. Rico Nasty's part was okay to start off the track. I wasn't mad at it. Um, Black really didn't have a part like that. He had like a hook, but like the hook wasn't really nothing catchy. But I feel like JID and Denzel Curry spitting their verse I thought was really dope. I enjoyed their verses a lot. Um, but overall, I feel like the production was solid. The lyricism from JID and Denzel was cool. It's just the rest of the features I just didn't really care for that much. Next song we got on here is X Wing. I feel like this song was definitely dope. It brought kind of that nostalgia to it. I don't know why, but like it just almost felt like I heard it in some period of time, and I might have, but I just can't remember exactly. But I feel like the production was definitely hard. I like the beat type to it. It had that good like I don't know if it was a piano, I don't know what instrument it was, but it had a good like upbeat to it overall. I feel like the hook was definitely really catchy. I liked it, the hook on there. Overall, I feel like this song was definitely really good. Pretty underrated if I'm being honest, because I could see this being like a radio hit and people just, you know, catching on to the hook and all that. But overall, a really dope song. Next song we got on here is Angels featuring Kareem Ringens. Hopefully I said that right. I thought this song was honestly cool. I think the part I enjoyed the most was Denzel Curry's flow on here. His flow on here is insane. But the production overall, I feel like is really mellow with the piano sound in the back that add a little touch to it. But the beat type wasn't nothing too crazy, but overall the production is solid. But it was just Denzel Curry's flow on here that was just really cool. He had a good cadence to it. He matched the energy of the production with it being really mellow overall, but definitely one of the better songs on the album and definitely underrated. Next song we got on here is The Smell of Death. I thought this song had a different obviously it's different, but I think it had a good creative like thing to it. Just digging into the production right away, it sounded like another video game song, which I'm not mad at all. I usually like the video game like mix up beat types, but this one was definitely different where it brought like kind of that 80s kind of video game to it, but I think the beat he added to it was honestly solid. Denzel Curry's verse wasn't nothing too crazy on here. It was really short for the most part, but I do like the sound of the production overall. I think it's definitely creative. It's not a song I go back to often, but I just feel like the sound of it is definitely dope. Next song we got on here is Sanjuri featuring 454. I could have just said 455, but you know me. Anyways, I feel like this song was pretty cool for the most part. The production was a little too simple for me. It just had like a big bass in the background with just a beat type, which again, the production was really too simple for me to really be like, oh man, I enjoy the production. So I'm kind of iffy on the production, but overall it was acceptable. Getting into the verses, I feel like Denzel Curry's cadence was probably the highlight of this whole song. He just kept going, going, going. Like he just it almost like he couldn't catch a breath when he was rapping. It was crazy, but I think 454's part was okay. It was acceptable, but overall, Denzel Curry's cadence on here is just the craziest part. But overall, I would say a solid song. Next song we got on here is Zatoi Chi featuring Slow Tie. Gosh, this man Denzel Curry got me just saying a lot of stuff. But anyways, I feel like this song was interesting. It definitely brought kind of that early 90s kind of beat type to it, but like I don't know. I didn't enjoy it that much, if I'm being honest. Not only that, the first part of Denzel Curry's part was like super just I don't know. It was just really like I couldn't really like catch on to it, if I'm being honest. The production was just really not it for me. The lyrics wise, I couldn't really catch on to because I could barely hear them. So the quality was really low. It just I couldn't mess with this song at all. I'ma just be honest. Yeah, if I had to pick the worst song on this album, it would probably be this song. I would skip this song if I'm being honest. I personally would skip this song because there just isn't. I just can't catch on the vibe at all with this song. So definitely a skip. The last song on this album is The Ills. I thought this was definitely a dope track to end the album off of. I was a little skeptical listening to it at first, but the production I think is very mellow, smooth, just had that good like piano sound in the background, and it's just a really cool listen just overall. Getting into the verse though, I felt like he kept the same energy with the production overall. His cadence on here was insane, with his flow being really good on here, and just overall just the sound of him just really sounded really good on this particular song compared to the other previous songs. So I really enjoyed this song a lot. I feel like it's definitely underrated and definitely a dope track to just end the album off of. But it is time to get to the final thoughts. My final thoughts of this album is I enjoyed it a lot. When I first listened to it, I didn't really like very many tracks on here, but going back to it most recently, I do enjoy it a lot more. I feel like it's aged pretty well over the past, you could say, 2 years now, because it has been out for about 2 years. Definitely Denzel Curry's better pieces of work. I wouldn't say just flat out best piece of work, but I feel like better pieces of work. I feel like as far as features wise, I feel like it was definitely a solid run. I feel like he could have added a little bit more, but overall, I enjoyed the creativity of the production. Just bringing that kind of video game style to it, but also talking about personal things within the album that I feel like we all go through day by day, and just trying to figure out ways to get through it. I feel like was his way of explaining that's what hip hop got me through. So low key, I enjoyed the storytelling. The cadence was crazy. I always loved his cadence and his flow throughout the track, and just the sound of him. I can easily tell it's Denzel Curry. So I enjoyed the sound overall. This album definitely aged well because I just didn't know if it was going to, but I feel like this album is overall solid. It's a dope listen. There's some good radio play hits on there that I would suggest be radio play, but overall a really dope album. With all that being said, I'm giving this album a 8 out of 10. That will conclude today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, like, subscribe, and comment down below what other albums y'all want me to do. And also click the link down in the description for all my social medias. But yeah, I'll catch y'all later.